Good morning. I'm Michelle Rowe. Clinton is on vacation. We're learning more about a recent round of layoffs at John Deere. It's being reported now that just under 500 employees were laid off last week. Iowa's WARN notice is showing that in addition to the 103 people laid off in Dubuque and Waterloo, 67 employees were laid off from John Deere Financial. And there were also cuts in Illinois, with the Quad Cities Regional Business Journal reporting 319 salaried workers were laid off from the company's headquarters in Moline and its Harvester Works facility in East Moline. All told, 489 employees were laid off. Farm Journal's Tyne Morgan has more of her exclusive interview with one John Deere executive about the reasons behind the recent decisions to cut their workforce.
As farmers look at ways to weather this storm, they're already cutting back.
Obviously, equipment purchases, everybody's kind of pumping the brakes there and just kind of slowing their reinvestment back into capital improvements, equipment, whatever.
John Deere laid off a significant number of salaried employees as part of an ongoing effort of workforce reductions, a move that was brought up during the hearing on Capitol Hill.
John Deere's layoff of thousands of workers is a canary in the coal mine.
Corey Reed, president of John Deere's Worldwide Agriculture and Turf Division for Production and Precision Ag, talking about the layoffs in an exclusive interview with us this week.
If you looked out across our industry, we're expecting the industry to be off roughly 20% year over year from last year.
The latest Association of Equipment Manufacturers flash report released in June shows combine sales dropped 31% compared to last year, and total farm tractor sales were down 16%. Reed says while the company still forecasts equipment demand to fall 20% overall this year, the second half of the year looks to be even more challenging than the first.
We kind of had the tale of two ends of the year. If you looked at the front half of the year, in fact, if you took the large row crop tractor business, what you would have seen is a market that was still peaking in the April and May timeframe. A lot of buyers in the market based off of the performance last year. As we hit May and going into June, what you saw is those used inventory levels start to and continue to grow. And you saw buyers start to pull back. Those trade differentials look different for them and they start pulling back at a faster rate.
Are there any plans to cut the price of equipment considering the constraints that farmers are under?
Well, I'll tell you what we're doing. We're taking some of our latest technologies and we're cutting the upfront price of it. So if you take See and Spray as a great example, that product would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to add to a machine. We lowered the upfront for a retrofit kit to be able to put it on for tens of thousands of dollars. So a customer that wants to manage their herbicide costs differently has the opportunity to buy into that on an acre by acre basis and only pay based on what they save.
Deere also catching backlash for announcing its decision earlier this year to move its cab operations from Waterloo to Mexico, which impacts a couple hundred jobs.
I think first and foremost it's important to understand that the movement of certain components or products to Mexico is entirely separate from what we've seen in terms of layoffs today. When we move a product, we make the announcement and say this portion of this product is going to move here. And by the way, we're doing that all the time. It's a part of what we do in our global network. What's not reported when we do that, and in the case of that particular line of product, the very product you saw down at Commodity Classic, the 830 horsepower four-wheel drive, if you drove to Waterloo today and went into the operations, what you'd see is that brand new tractor going down the very place in that factory where those cabs were manufactured before.
As Deere aims to align production inventory levels with current market demands, the down cycle of the ag economy is hitting all of agriculture hard. But Reed says he's still bullish agriculture long term.